In this episode of Financial Literacy for Beginners, we're going to talk about how to improve your money mindset. Cue the intro. So I know we throw these terminologies around a lot in the financial space, like money mindset and, financial freedom and all those things. And I know some people still may not be, exactly acclimated in what those things mean. So I wanted to kind of define what I mean by money mindset just a little bit before we go any further. And, when I'm talking about money mindset, I'm really talking about your core understandings and core beliefs about money and about yourself and how you kind of use money in your life. And those things really kind of stem from what you grow up with and what you kind of learn as you grow up about, how money works and how you're supposed to use money. And they can really be kind of the starting point for where you're going in your life financially, whether that be in a good direction or in a bad direction. So it's really important to really understand now if you are trying to move into a space of being financially free or just moving to any space of, having the right kind of mindset about money. It's really good to understand where your core understanding about money is coming from. And you can kind of start at that place, start from, how did you grow up? How did I, start thinking about money? What did I see growing up? Or, what did I encounter that really kind of shaped my belief about, how I'm supposed to use money and what money means in my life? And when you start to think about that, you really get a good picture of, the things that you're actually doing in your life. So it's a very powerful thing to do, to really start thinking about, all of those things that come before this point that you're in right now, where you're trying to move forward in a more positive direction in terms of money, really thinking about all of those milestones throughout your life. Why was I, doing this at this time with money? Or, what do I really feel right now about myself in terms of money? It really helps you to kind of graph that picture. So start thinking about that first and then start to, create a picture of where you want to be, because ultimately you want to understand, developing a good money mindset is really about understanding where you want to end up with your money goals. It's truly about, the decisions that you make day in and day out that, really govern what your money mindset is all about. So I know it's hard for a lot of people to kind of really think about, money in those terms, especially when you're going through, some kind of situation, or if you're not used to, even understanding what financial freedom means, and I talked about this in a previous episode, and I think I'll leave a card to that episode so you can check it out after you check this video out. But I talked about how most people just haven't been exposed to, a mindset of financial freedom. And, if you're not exposed to that, you will kind of just toil in whatever financial situation that is presented to you. You become a victim of whatever is happening to you monetarily versus you kind of charting your own course and making things happen in your life financially. Things just tend to happen to you. And, it's really important that, that's one of the things that you want to get beyond. You want to get beyond things happening to you financially, and you be able to make those decisions to make things happen from a financial standpoint in your life. So how do we get there? How do we get to a point of us being able to, kind of chart our own course or create scenarios where we're making the financial decisions in our lives instead of something happening to us? I think one of the main things that we have to do is start to really immerse ourselves in the understanding of money and how it plays out in the commerce or the world that we're living in, because money plays out differently in different communities. If you are in a community that is, surrounded by an education of, not understanding what money is about and how, finances work, if you are kind of immersed in a community that, is flourishing off of that kind of ignorance about money, then, it's really important for you to understand that, hey, I'm in a place that is really not going to enable me to flourish from a monetary standpoint with the current mindset that I have. And you have to understand that first and foremost. Where are you financially, and what is surrounding you, and what kind of mechanisms are in place to kind of keep you in the financial situation that you're in? Because there are, institutionalized, poverty mechanisms that are in place to kind of keep you in, the system that you're in, because, there's not a definitive thing that says, everybody, if you do XYZ, you're going to be, wealthy, or there's not a definitive, stamp that everybody's going to be wealthy and everybody's going to be rich. But there is a definitive stamp that everybody has to work and everybody has to, pay taxes and do all of these things. So all of those mechanisms do kind of keep us in whatever financial environment that we grow up in. So it's really important that you understand that financial environment and understand what's really happening. What are the mechanisms that are really, kind of surrounding your economic status. And once you understand that, it's just a matter of really immersing yourself in the education of rising beyond that particular point of understanding of where you are financially. And, that's one of the key things that I think, like you're doing right now, just involving yourself in the conversation that revolves around financial literacy, is one very, very powerful thing that you can do and start that dialogue in your head, because that's really what it's all about. Once you start that dialogue in your own mind of, hey, there's something that I can be doing different to better my, economic situation. I can change what I'm doing, really developing that belief, because that's what it is. It is a belief. Once you start developing that belief, it starts to nurture different thoughts in your mind, and you start to really see the different avenues that you can take to better your financial situation. You start to change kind of your habits, and that's one of the most important things that I want to point out, is that all of these things that you're going to be learning in terms of financial literacy is really meant to change your habits, and change your habits to a point of kind of promoting habits that will allow you to grow financially and move into a different space or a different state financially. And you want to be in that place, because that is when you'll start to really see growth, when you really understand that I need to change my habits. I need to change, habitually what I'm doing every day. And when you start to do that, you start to chip away at that, those old ways of why you're actually in the financial situation that you're in, or why you are continually struggling. If you are someone that struggles financially or struggles with money decisions, you'll start to see why you struggle with those things, and begin to understand how to change those decisions and make better financial decisions once you do see those patterns. And those patterns become more and more evident as you immerse yourself in the understanding and, kind of get involved in the information. You'll see that over time, you'll start to get a better understanding of how those things work in your life. Even if you're not, an expert on the financial things that are happening in the world, the more you tune into that conversation, and the more you tune into what's actually happening, and lend your ear to that, and lend your gaze to that just for a moment, for enough, you'll start to see that you can change the way you feel about what's happening in your life financially, just by tuning into information that's on a higher vibration in terms of your financial understanding. And that is what really changes and begins to shape your money mindset. So when people talk about money mindset and the shaping of money mindset, that's what does it. It's really easy to get wrapped up in achieving and, kind of hitting the mark and getting to a place where you are making more money and achieving all the things that you want to achieve financially. It's really easy to get wrapped up in that and not see the bigger picture of how does that play into your happiness. So one of the things that I do want to stress in your journey of becoming financially stable to financial freedom, really focus on your happiness and what it means to pull all those things together when you are in a better financial situation, what it means to allow those things to make you more happy in your life and more fulfilled in your life. Because at the end of the day, to me, that is what's most important outside of all the things that you can achieve monetarily and all the things that you can achieve otherwise. How do those things make you happy? How do they translate to you having a better life and having freedom in your life? I hope this has been extremely helpful for someone. And until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom.